All right, so you got a lot of people saying that certain individuals shouldn't get upset when they get ridiculed or called names. First of all, notice how the people who say this are always the people who insult someone. They're always the ones who go out of their way to insult somebody. But here's the thing. If it's really no big deal, like they say, right? Why do they get weirded out when a person talks about themselves? Think about that real quick, because it's like they're basically saying that it's normal for a person to be insulted for the way he looks, or the way she looks. And it's like, and yet, if they were to talk about themselves, they would get looked at as weird. But at the same time, the person wouldn't even have the encouragement to continue making fun of that person. That person would get discouraged. Because in their mind they're going like, oh, somebody already broke that person, and they're like, what's more for me to say? Then they get all quiet, right? And then they find a way to leave the scene quickly. And yet they say communication with insults is normal. So if it's so normal, why did you leave when after you were discouraged from insulting, right? Like why did they leave? Unless the sole purpose of said communication was for the victim to get insulted. Like in their minds, it wasn't even a 50-50. Like 50% normal conversation and 50% insult. I mean, if the person insults himself and removes all use for that second component I mentioned, then shouldn't that still leave room for the first component where you're just talking about normal things, and yet they want to cut the discussion away, and they want to leave because the person insulted themselves. So they have to be implying from that action that they were normalizing an engagement where they as a person just insults the victim and does nothing else. Now you can't. Now nobody could say that's normal. Because again, when people say, "Oh, it's normal for friends to insult friends," they're what they are saying is that it's normal for the conversation to consist of both normal talk, as an everyday talk, or not or but and insulting or roasting. So, I mean, they can trick people into thinking that's normal, but they can't trick that other thing that I mentioned. And it is the other thing. They just want to subtly normalize engagement where they just insult their quote unquote friends all day. And this is so the victim will stick around and just take it. They want to vent on someone. That's what these people want to do. And with all they have, and they do have a lot, but despite it, they're not pleased with themselves. And they always have a temper, they always have